Hello, this is video one, introducing to you guys the vision for 2019 and what we are hoping for our kids and our youth at Life Church. Ideally, I would give this talk to you guys all in person, but considering we're a team of 37 people and busy schedules, that's not going to happen. So after talking with the team leaders, we decided that presenting it in a video form to everybody all at one time was the best shot at getting you all up-to-date information in the same manner, in the same way. So just kind of pretend that we are together and I'm talking to you in real life. Okay, I have some notes here, so if I'm looking around, that's what I am looking at. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. Okay, alrighty. In 2007, Gallup conducted a poll to ask people who actually attend church, why do you attend church? In that poll, they found out that 64% of those who regularly attend church consider children's and teens programs a major factor in their decision to attend. Now, that was 2007. In August of this year, CNN reported on a poll that was conducted by Pew, asking Americans who attend religious services at least one time a month why it's important to them. The number one reason was to become closer to God. The number two reason was about kids. See, Pew found that 69% of people who attend religious services attend so their children will have a moral foundation. Kids and their faith are a major concern for most of our church attenders. They may even be the reason many show up at church. So I ask myself, who are these kids who are coming to church? What do they care about? How do they think? These kids are Generation Z. These are the kids born in the mid-1990s to the early 2000s, and they care about two main things. They care about authenticity, and they care about what's real. Now, when I heard that, I was excited, because that's what Life Church is founded on. Building a faith in our lives that matters, a faith that's real, a faith that's authentic to you. That's what we're pursuing together at Life Church. So as our kids grow up and learn about faith and Jesus and life at Life Church, we've come to believe that the best way we can help these kids develop their own authentic, real faith is to connect kids with other believers who are pursuing a real, authentic faith in Jesus of their own. Another way we say this is that the best way we can help kids know God is to connect them with others who know God. And as far as we can tell, the most effective way to connect kids and teenagers relationally with someone who knows God is a healthy small group supported by just enough structure to allow organic relationships and connections to flourish. You see, if we can create a small group for every child, at best, a small group paves the way for these kids and youth to build strong relationships with a leader who can personally disciple them. At a minimum, these small groups will give these kids a place to belong and a consistent leader to nudge them in a positive direction in their faith. Now, when you think about all the kids around us today in our homes, neighborhoods, backyards, schools, malls, the sports fields, soccer, football, field hockey, where do you think the kids of today have the best chance of seeing a God who loves them? I believe it's with the church. It's with Jesus and his people in a personal relationship. I'm proud to say that Life Church has always made a space for kids, even when it was just my three. You all know that for several years now we have had a lot of kids, and it's been important that we have a space for them. We have always seen our kids' programming as meeting a critical need in our church community, and it's been a very important part of what we do each week. Our kids' programming began to meet a critical need in our community, but today we're ready to move beyond simply meeting a need and into creating a strategic program, leading us all to what's next. So moving into 2019, everything we do in our kids and our youth programming is going to be strategically feeding into our small groups. And here's why. Relationships happen in your small groups. Influence is shared in your small groups. Kids get to get up close and personal, and they get to see what authentic, real faith can look like for another adult. They get to ask questions in safe spaces and receive unlimited grace and love from their leaders. And we believe that the best way we can help kids know a good, real, authentic God for themselves is to consistently connect them with others who know God. Understanding this, it's our goal in 2019 to give every child a person to support them and a place to belong, a small group leader, and a small group for them. Now, we currently have a volunteer structure that requires a minimum of 37 volunteers to run it every month. Every volunteer serves once a month and a rotating fifth Sunday. This means that each week, each volunteer gets 60 minutes with their class and roughly 30 minutes alone with their small group, or their few, as I'll refer to them. So when you serve one time a month in Kid City, you see your few for 60 minutes a month. When you serve 2 times a month, you could possibly see your few for 120 minutes a month, provided they came on your second week. I need to ask you the question that popped into my mind when I put that time together. How much of a relationship do you have with someone you see for 60 minutes a month? How long does it take for you to feel comfortable with a person you see for 60 minutes a month? And how long would it take for you to share your problems with another person that you are only seeing for 60 minutes every month? When a small group leader volunteers once a month, they get their 60 minutes with their few. But then due to illness, vacations, sports, scheduling conflicts, and holidays, among other things, it's very likely that that child and small group leader won't see each other again for another couple of months. So, say you're a group leader and you happen to be leading a group the week one of your few tells you that they're getting bullied at school, or I broke up with my girlfriend or boyfriend, or how they're sad that their friend is moving away, or they're nervous about starting at a new school or starting a new class, or they just found out that their parents are splitting up. You most likely won't see that child again for another month or 2. Now, the small group leader who shows up the next week, at best, knows what you learned because you shared it in your prayer requests, if they read that email. But how do you bring that up with a kid, especially if they didn't tell you that situation themselves? So how can you support them? How can you help them? Let them know you'll be there for them when you're only there every month or 2. We've got to do better than this for our kids. These kids need to see and experience the love of Jesus throughout all these years. And Jesus means so much to us when the tough stuff happens. The best way we can help kids know a good, real, authentic God cares about them is to connect them relationally and consistently with an adult who does the same. So this coming year, we have a goal. We have a goal to match every child between the ages of 18 months and 15 years with a consistent small group leader. Now, I know the questions of how to do this will immediately pop into your mind. Those questions and fears popped into my mind right away too. How do we do that? Who's going to do that? What does that look like? Can I do that? And for me, can I lead us into that kind of ministry? But here's what I know, okay? I know I need Jesus in my life. And I know life is hard, okay? And I know that sometimes I can't find him on my own. But other people who know him and who know me, they help me. And I want that for our kids, all of our kids. They need that just like I need that. They need it so much. So we're going to try, okay? There will be bumps along the way. There will be options on how to be involved. There will be commitments that are limited by time so that we can try things and test them and evaluate. But we are going to try. These kids deserve that, and they need it. They need that interaction and that relationship just like I do and like I'm betting you do. I also want you to know that for those of you who take this on, it becomes my main job to care for you, equip you, and support you as you show up for these kids. You do not have to be more than you are right now. Hear me on this. You do not have to have all the answers or a perfect, clean, and tidy life. That kind of life helps no one because none of us have that. It's not the goal. A small group leader in this context does 5 main things to encourage authentic faith in their few. Number 1, they show up. They're present. Number 2, they create a safe space. Number 3, they partner with parents. Number 4, they help make faith personal. And number 5, they move their few out, and that means they help their few begin to see how their faith can be put into action in this world. I'll teach you how to do this when you don't know what to do next. And I have people that I'm leaning on right now to help me learn this as well. On November 11th at Vision Night, we will talk details about the steps we will take to try to make this dream a reality for our kids. I've done this job long enough to know I have a lot of support from so many of you. Thank you for that. Your input and your passion and your thoughts and your ideas are needed. Your team leaders and I have put together a fact sheet to attach to this video for the questions that we thought might pop into your head immediately. Feel free to submit other questions to your team leaders or myself, and know that we will read them, consider them, and do our best to address most, if not all of them, on November 11th. As I said before, this is a big goal. It's a big deal. It is. Our kids, the kids who will lead us in this next generation, they're worth it. I believe it with every fiber of my being. And I want them to know Jesus. I want them to lean into him and to find real, authentic faith that's going to carry them through the seasons of their life. I want to close by reading a story I shared in one of our team meetings on a Sunday morning. It was shared in a group I'm in with other ministry leaders. It's an essay written by a 4th grader who loves his small group leader. I want to tell you that this particular ministry group, this church, journeyed through the transition to serving weekly, just like we are about to embark on. They and many others have affirmed that it's worth it. So here's the story. I'm going to change the names, okay? It's an essay. We're going to say it's written by a guy named Joe. The title is The Man That Impacted My Life. Hi, my name is Joe, and the person that impacted my life is a man named Carrington. He's a wonderful man that I met at church. He is my Bible study teacher, and he helps me with faith. At church, he helps me learn a lot. When I walk in the room, he puts a smile on my face. Mr. Carrington has a smile that can light up the room. He's a talented and very fun man. For example, if all the kids are bored, he will cheer them up with a little musical chairs or something. He is like a second father in church, not only to me, but to every kid in the room. He goes to sleep one night and wakes up the morning, turning frowns upside down. Mr. Carrington is a worthy and respectful man. If anyone feels sad, he sits and has a talk with them, and next thing you know, the sadness turns into joy. He can joke around with us, and he makes us laugh, but when it's time to get serious, he is serious. He is a man of wisdom, integrity, and honesty. If you lie, you will not get in trouble. He will just tell you to tell the truth. He teaches us the way to be honest, and how not to lie again. Mr. Carrington has a lot of people that care about him. I could believe that because of how he acts. He gets invited to lots of events by lots of people. If this courageous man was poor, I would have done anything in my power to help him, since he helps me. One way is that if my father is late to pick me up from church, he would stay and wait before he left. He would sometimes even play a little game with me. Between all the teachers, I think he is the best one. I will never forget him. That is what he has done to impact my life. Without him, I do not think I would have joy at church. Thanks to him, I do. We will have many questions on this journey. This is something Life Church has never attempted before. But the journey is worth taking, and there are many opportunities and ways that we can make this happen. I look forward to meeting with you all on November 11th and beginning the work of taking our next step to give every child a person to support them and a place to belong, a small group leader and a small group, because the best way we can help kids know a good, authentic, real God cares for them is consistently connect them with others who know God.